I am so excited to be interviewing our next special guest today, none other than Michelle Berryman. Michelle Berryman is the owner and chef at Jamrock Irie Jerk restaurant, located in the beautiful garden city of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, which is also part of the Niagara region. She is a realtor and mortgage agent with Home Life Kingsview Real Estate. Jamrock Irie Jerk opened its door on December 3rd, 2015, where it provides a wide variety of Jamaican and Caribbean cuisine. Its motto is bringing a taste of the Caribbean to you. Michelle was born and raised in Jamaica, and at the age of 10 years old, she migrated to Canada with her family. Becoming a chef was not part of her plan. She also attended Seneca College, where she studied accounting and finance. She has worked at various companies in the financial sector, and in 2004, she made a change in career and became a mortgage agent, and then in 2011, she became a realtor. While she did not attend culinary school, she knew how to cook. After opening the restaurant, she developed a real passion for cooking. Michelle describes cooking as an art where you can be creative, and from time to time, she will switch up the recipes by adding or removing certain ingredients. She invites you to visit Jamrock Irie Jerk restaurant, which is located at 250 Welland Avenue, St. Catharines, Ontario, or you can order online. You can also find details on her website and how to connect with her in the description below. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Michelle, welcome to Conversations with Diana. We thank you for being on the show today.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tell me, what brought you to Canada? Tell us about that journey.
Well, I've been in Canada from a tender age. I came here with my aunt, who is actually my mom's sister.
Okay.
So the family came and we actually migrated into Regina. So I didn't really ended up in Toronto in the beginning. So we lived in Regina for a while, and then I ended up moving to Edmonton.
And you moved here from Jamaica,
From
correct?
Jamaica,
Yes.
yeah, straight to Regina. Don't ask me. And winters there winters there literally starts in September.
Wow.
Unlike Toronto, you're just getting your first snowfall. Snow starts falling there quite early.
Wow.
And then, as I mentioned, from Regina, we moved to Edmonton, and I lived there for like 6-7 years. And then I came to Toronto.
And tell us about what happened after that.
Well, after I moved to Toronto, I started going to school. I finished up my school here. I went on to go to college, where I did accounting and financing. And
So what about accounting and financing drew you into business? Is that what you did as a career?
Yeah, I did. And strong point, is math. I love math. Anything to do with numbers. And, that's me. Just throw the numbers at me. I'm not to say that my English marks wasn't good, but
Yes.
The math marks were really there. So that was my strongest point. Accounting is my thing. Our numbers is my thing.
So I remember telling the viewers about your dabbling into mortgage as well as being in the real estate business. Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so with as I mentioned, with the accounting and finance, after working for many different companies in the accounting department or accounts receivable or accounts payable department, and after the last job, I just decided, okay, that's it for me. I was dabbling actually before I left that last job into mortgages.
Okay.
A friend of mine actually had told me, why don't you, get your mortgage license and do mortgages since you're so strong in that. I didn't jump at it at first, but then eventually. So yeah, I went into, I joined with a mortgage company and I started doing mortgages. For a number of years, been over 15, 16 years of mortgages, and then I implemented the real estate into it, where I had persons come in that, my mortgage clients would be asking me for a real estate agent, and so I'm there giving away the business. So
Exactly.
So I ended up doing went and took the course, got my real estate license. So I do both. I still do my mortgages and I still do real estate.
And for persons who may be watching that may be interested in contacting you, are you attached to a specific
Yes,
agency?
Actually, I'm actually registered with Home Life Kingsview, real estate brokerage there in Woodbridge.
Okay.
I live in the Falls, but my broker is very nice. I love my broker. He's a nice, cool Italian guy.
Yes.
So I just find that even with mortgages and real estate, it doesn't matter what company you're with. It's you, the individual, that they want to deal with. So, I mean, she works with Remax or she works with Home Life, but they want to talk to Michelle.
Exactly.
The other thing doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So.
Can you tell me a bit more about how you came to be Michelle the Restaurateur? Because we're here in this beautiful space right now at Michelle Restaurant Jamrock Irie Jerk, which is located on Welland Avenue in the beautiful city of St. Catharines. Michelle, tell people a bit more about the restaurant, how it came to be, what the menu is like, and what can they expect when they visit the restaurant.
Well, Jamrock actually was opened its doors 5 years ago. December 3rd will be, officially here 5 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And how we got started, actually, my then husband, which is now my ex-husband, we used to actually work with his aunt that has another business or another restaurant. And I kind of like the dabbling in it. And I was like, this is something different. Like, I'm not really a big on cooking. At home, he would do all the cooking.
Really?
Yeah, he would do all the cooking at home. I know how to cook. I just don't like to cook. If you know what I mean.
Yes, I understand.
So he did most of that, and then I'm like, wait a second. After we had a fallout with the family. Yeah, we had a fallout with the family member, and we just decided. I was like, hey, why don't we we open our own restaurant? You do the cooking. I have the brains and the beauties behind me.
Yes, of course.
behind and
that was your idea.
So I suggested it.
Okay.
Yes, why don't we do that? And at first he was kind of iffy, but he gravitated to the idea of doing it, and so we opened the restaurant, and after about a year or so, he left because to find out that restaurant was not his thing. He didn't really have a passion for it. He was more interested in doing something else.
Okay.
So I wasn't about to close this down. I mean, we just opened, and we were getting to grow our clientele or our customers and whatnot. So I'm like, we're not going to close this down. So prior to him leaving, we had brought in another chef.
Okay.
And that worked for a while. And then I brought in yet again another chef. And that worked for a while. And then I'm like, okay, after that, I'm like, no, forget it. I know how to cook. I'm from the Caribbean.
Yes.
I may not have grown up there, but I know how to. To me, it's like once you're cooking the food, you must know
exactly
some idea how to, you know what I mean? So then, so for the last 3 years, I've been doing all the cooking.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're chef extraordinaire along with the owner.
Yeah.
That's a nice segue into the next question. What were some of the major struggles? Because obviously you had a personal challenge, having separated and all of that. I know what that can be like.
Oh gosh, we were always butting heads with each other. I mean, I would suggest to do something, and he would like, no, and so that part, we never saw really eye to eye on a lot of things. But I mean, him being the chef and whatnot, I'm doing the aspect of whatever, the background of the business.
Yes.
So there was a bit of a challenge there. I mean, getting, obviously to register the name and there's a lot of, it looks all good now, but in doing all the ground and the field work, it's a lot of work. I mean, know who to buy your products from, where do you go for XYZ, you know what I mean? Like, so that was the biggest challenge, is to know all the regular suppliers.
Yes.
I mean, we went through a lot till we had it narrowed down to 1, or we had it narrowed down to 4, or we had it narrowed whatever.
Yes,
so that was the biggest challenge for that.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start up a business, it looks all grand and dandy in the end, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of work. Yeah, there's a lot. And the hours, that's, And
I've always heard that having a restaurant is like it's like a second life. You take on something that is really huge, and it can sometimes really significantly impact your family life and all of that. Was that something you expected, or did you know you had a heads up?
Well, we kind of had a heads up before. We, as I mentioned, we were with another family member at her restaurant, and so I kind of had an idea, prior to us starting up. Okay, this is all. The hours are going to be long, and just be prepared for it. I mean, getting the kinks out of a lot of things where, okay, well, when we first opened, we're going to open till 11, and then we realized, okay, opening till 11 doesn't work, and then we dropped it down to 9, and then we dropped it down. You know what I mean?
So there's a lot of trial and error.
Exactly. And for me, I find that in any restaurant, I'm gonna use 80%, but I'm pretty sure it's probably higher.
Yes.
But for me, it's 80% of that is preparation. Execution on any dish is easy, but it's preparation. Being prepared. I mean, when I'm here at 6 a.m., 6:30 in the mornings. Obviously we have persons will do it different. We have our prep days, and we prepare or season our stuff days before, and we freeze them or whatever. We just but preparation, I find that, because there's no way you could come in here at 6 a.m. and say you're going to season all these meats, and then you're going to cook them all. It won't work.
It won't work.
And
trust me, I've tasted the food, so I know that it's well seasoned. So your thing of overcoming the challenges was are you saying that it's about being prepared and knowing ahead of time what to expect?
Correct. And time management. I mean, obviously in anything that you do, it's your time, how do you manage your time? I mean, yes, your days can be, like I said, extremely long, where you have your 10, 12, but how are you managing those 10 or 12-hour days? I mean, are you coming in here and running around all the place doing whatever? I mean, I'll come in here at 6 a.m. and by 11 a.m., I just believe, because there's a stigma attached to a lot of Caribbean restaurants that when you walk in, things are not ready yet.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Oh, yeah. A lot of Jamaican, especially the Jamaican restaurants. Oh, they don't have this. For me, I believe that once I open the door at 11, whatever is on my menu, it's ready. Yes. I mean, other than the seafood where we've done to order, and our customers know that any seafood, it'll be prepared or it's done to order. We don't want to have any kind of seafood sitting around, but
that makes sense. How has COVID, and that has been everyone's challenge this year, 2020 has been the year. How has it impacted you and the business, and how have you learned to pivot into having a more successful business?
Well, in the beginning, we, when it was announced that restaurants can't do dine-in anymore, but they could do, pickup or delivery. For the first week we tried it, and sales just went down, and I'm like, okay, to me this doesn't make any sense, because obviously I could see that people are nervous, and they're uncomfortable and whatnot. So after a while we just decided to close down for a bit, and then we reopened, we kind of regrouped, and I'm actually kind of glad for that time off. You know what I mean? I was able to get caught up with a lot of things outside of you and me both. Here, outside of being here, and then then we reopened back in June, and I'm telling you, it's been amazing, and I have no one to thank but God for that.
Yes,
honestly, I give Him all the glory in anything and everything where this business, even my life, is concerned. I give God all the props and all the thanks and all the praise, because it's not me, it's him. And I've always said, from day one where this business is concerned, that I'm not here for me, I am here for the people, and whatever God or however way He chooses to use me within this business, it's His call.
It's His call.
Yeah. Like I said, since we've been reopened, business has been, I'm gonna say, better than before we closed. Much better.
Well, I like the way you've renovated. It looks so much brighter and very inviting. Not that it wasn't nice before,
right?
But the reset, they call it the COVID reset. I think it really has. beautified the whole environment
Yeah.
in terms of what you've done with it. So I love what you've done with the place.
Thanks.
And the food is still amazing.
Thank you.
And I don't doubt the business has been booming.
Yes,
Because
thank
whenever
you.
we come in, we do see a lot of
Yeah.
that. I mean, obviously, you're maintaining the distancing. And
Yes,
all.
of course, yes.
And I see that you've gone online as well.
Yes. Yes.
And most businesses, I find, have had to pivot to online.
Yeah.
Has that taken off, or is it still?
Yeah, I mean, prior to us, the doors being closed, I mean, we always had our website, so people could visit our website. But now it's more where you can now order online. I mean, our website has now, we actually have a new website.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
we have a new website now where you can actually order online. It's not through any of those other. You know, I'm not going to mention their name, but yeah, you place the order, it comes directly to us. It's not through a third party. So, and we do our pickup or well, customers can come in and pick up, and we also have our delivery, company. Either we ourselves will deliver it, or we use an outside company. So yeah, it's been amazing.
And it's pretty quick too, because I know we have used the delivery service.
Yeah,
so I have to say that works. What advice, Michelle, can you give someone who may be watching who is looking to get into this type of business, or any business for that matter, especially if they're an immigrant?
Oh, research. You cannot go wrong with research.
Yes.
I mean, if for us, when we, other than, the family thing, I would go around to different restaurants and kind of see what it is that they're doing, or maybe not exactly how they're cooking, but, how do they, how inviting is their place when you come in? So it's all about research. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with research in anything. And even when you're open, you're still researching.
Can you hear that, guys? Make sure you do research. Yes, and in terms of, I know it's a lot of work. You mentioned, you can't stress that enough. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of time that goes into planning and making sure that when the doors open, everything it runs smoothly. What does Michelle do to unwind, or to just basically take a break and recharge?
Well, I go to the gym.
Really?
I still do. I still go to the gym. I mean, throughout COVID, obviously the gyms were closed. But prior, leading up to, right after the restaurant, believe it or not, I'd go to the gym. I've worked out for years, and I still continue to work out. Throughout the whole COVID process, I walk 2-3 hours a day. So now I've
2-3 hours, you said?
2 to 3 hours, because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, true.
I mean, it was starting to get warmer outside. So and I would walk the falls, and my gosh, I would love, that was my favorite walking path. Was down to because nobody was there.
Yes.
And I just felt like a queen. I'm by myself. Experiencing the falls. Like, I just felt like I had a personal tour by myself. So, so for me to unwind, I mean, other than the gym, I'd go home and, relax a little bit, have some peppermint tea or ginger tea or whatever. But my unwind time, I always say, is my gym time.
Yes.
My gym time.
That's very important that you take time out to take care of your temple, because it's a temple.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you mentioned that you know the importance of unwinding and getting centered, and also exercise is a great medicine.
Absolutely.
Especially with what's going on. So the more exercise we can get, I'm all for that.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the viewers that they may or may not know about you that you would care to elaborate on? Like, are you working on any interesting new recipes, or are there any other projects on the horizon?
Yes. There was actually something that it was here prior. We were, we kind of had put it out there before. Where I'm sure persons have heard of our jerk pockets. If you haven't, you need to come in. I'm trying to look into now, see how I could, get them on store shelves, so to speak, and, brand it and whatnot, blah, blah. So, because right now we currently do them here. I mean, sometimes they come out in all different kinds of shapes. I've been looking for the perfect shape. I don't want it to be like the regular Jamaican patty kind of shape. I don't want that. I'm looking for something more, of a square. If the customers, or if anyone hasn't been in here, they've seen what it kind of looks like, a rectangle or so. Again, I'm looking to promote that, when you walk into, the grocery store, shameless plug,
Yes.
pizza pockets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of want when they go in, oh, Jamrock Irish jerk pockets.
Yes,
You know
I
what I
love
mean?
the sauna
Yeah,
now.
so that's what I'm working on now. And again, it's all boiling down to research. And once I get what I'm looking for, once I find what I'm looking for in terms of the research, then I can start, to brand it out more. But yeah.
I love the sound of that, Michelle,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's going to do well. It sounds very delicious. I did see the plug, so I did see the pictures
Right.
promoting that. In terms of what's next for you, you've mentioned that. Tell the viewers how they can connect with you.
Well, they could reach out to me on Instagram. I answer to Instagram messages real fast. Emails, I will respond to your email, but maybe not as quickly. Facebook, also I know Facebook Messenger, they have that too, but Instagram is always going to be the point of contact for me, where I answer. If you want me to respond real quick, or better yet, even call the restaurant. I mean, if they want to reach, if they have a question in terms of catering and whatnot, by all means, feel free to give me a call. Or come on by. I think I like the communicating thing. So, come on by and, ask whomever's at the front, either my son or the other young man that's here. And I will be more than happy to accommodate.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining the show today and for giving us more information about how to connect with you and how to come out to the restaurant, how to find you. We really want you to hit subscribe, like, share, and follow. Stay tuned for the next episode, and thanks for watching.